What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick. I think we're gonna need some more vault space. Akakis here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel and let me know what you think my next intro should be. That comment section is out of control. Alright, today we're gonna be discussing another absolutely busted stasis build. Like, stasis already was incredible, especially in PvE. This was starting to cement itself in last season as a Grandmaster strategy, a day one raid strategy, and so on. But stasis builds got an absolutely massive boost in power thanks to the brand new Ager's Scepter Exotic Stasis Trace Rifle. If you don't have this thing, I've done a guide on how to get it. Check it out, it's linked up above. But freezing and shattering enemies has really never been easier thanks to this exotic. So I already did a video going over an absolutely incredible warlock build involving the Agers, and I wanted to now spread the love to my hunter mains. This is an incredibly good hunter stasis build based around the Scepter. So let's get started on what this involves, but just before we do, this video is sponsored by myself and the OEM Uwu merch design. How are you still watching this video and you haven't bought 6 of these? Look at it! Look at this! This is amazing. Alright guys, check it out, linked down below. But okay, let's start with this build. Obviously, you need the Agers, but what else are we utilizing? Well, in terms of the Revenant subclass, let's take a look at our aspects and fragments. First off, and where the build is really centered around, we have the Grim Harvest aspect. So defeating slowed or frozen combatants create stasis shards. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you and your allies. And again, this is where the build is centered around because the Agers just freezes everybody. So you are going to be getting, and this is not an exaggeration, 1 shard for every single enemy you kill, really. And that lets us do some absolutely broken things with the hunter. So let's move on to the next aspect. That's going to be Touch of Winter, just improving your grenades. We're really using this because we don't necessarily need the other aspects here, and we really want those 2 fragment slots. That's very important. And then looking at our fragments, we have firstly Whisper of Conduction. So nearby stasis shards track to your position, and it gives you plus 10 resilience and plus 10 intellect. So a huge boost to your stats, but really the tracking is quite nice. It lets you gain those shards, which is going to provide us with several benefits while you're just playing normally, right? One of the problems with shards is that you have to run over to where the enemy died and pick them up. That's not always a good idea, especially in higher level content. Doing that could be a death sentence. So having them track to you, and the field of tracking is actually pretty wide. Like, you can be pretty far away and you'll see them slowly working their way to you, so you can be completely undercover and getting all the benefits of these stasis shards. But moving on from there, the next fragment we have is going to be Whisper of Rhyme. Collecting a stasis shard grants a small amount of overshield, which falls off after 10 seconds. Collecting additional shards adds to the overshield and refreshes the timer. So those are our stasis shard buffs. They're going to track to you, and they're constantly giving you melee energy, and they're giving you overshield for increased survivability. Now the other fragments are going to be firstly Whisper of Chains. This is going to give you plus 10 recovery, very useful, but also give you damage resistance when you're near a frozen target, which we pretty much always are. And then lastly, we do have Whisper of Bonds. This gives you bonus super energy for defeating frozen targets, which again, thanks to the Scepter, we pretty much always are. Honestly, just the Scepter plus Whisper of Bonds itself is unbelievably powerful. Like, with the Revenant, you're almost going to get your super back before your first super has worn out. And you can see this in the background gameplay. You know, I'm doing a Shattered Realm here. I use a super to start this encounter, and by the end of the same encounter, like, 1 phase later, I have my super again. Like, that's actually insane. And that's not even with a huge population of enemies. If this was the Thrallway, I'd have another 20-second super. Like, absolutely incredible wombo combo right here. But it doesn't stop there. Let's move on to our armor and mods. Firstly, we have the Frosties. This is just a great baseline exotic for giving you your abilities more often, so we want our melee, we want our grenade, and that's going to let us accomplish this. But as we continue from there, one of the most important mods is actually you want to have an arc helmet so you can have hands-on. Gain bonus super energy on melee kills. And obviously, with the Revenant Hunter, we have the Frozen Shuriken, and you've seen the background gameplay. It is not uncommon to get, 3-4 kills with a single shuriken, so that's now going to give you more super energy than normal. Oh, and if those targets were frozen, which they almost always are, that's going to stack and increase your super energy gains even more. Like, one shuriken can get you a huge chunk of super energy. That is our payoff for getting that constant melee energy from all of those incoming shards. But another mod you really want to have on the arms is Melee Wellmaker. So powered melee combatant final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. So every time we throw a shuriken, which again, thanks to the shards, is all the time, we also are now spawning stasis wells, and when we pick those up, we get energy for all of our uncharged abilities. Like, it's really, really good. Now, I actually did try the new Stasis Mod Melee Kickstart. It did not work very well because we have 2 melees. Getting to 0 energy is really, really difficult. You often have like the other one half charged when you use the first one, so it just didn't work out. Melee Wellmaker is what I found to be most effective. And that's really it. Aside from that, you can also use, obviously, traced rifle armor mods, so you have ammo for your Agers. You can also utilize stuff like protective light, and then just getting charged by light, stuff like that. But again, this is really all you need, and the combination of these things is wild. You really do get shards for really every single kill, and then that gives you constant overshield. Like, you almost always have some degree of overshield, and even if it's stripped away, you have another shard tracking itself to your location to get even more overshield. And then that's on top of the fact that you have damage resistance when you are near frozen targets. Like, I don't think I've died yet using this build in PvE. But on top of all of that, not only are you getting this great degree of survivability, you're also just getting constant shurikens. Like, you're just getting your melee so dang much, and that is giving you a ton of super energy, which is combined with just killing frozen targets, which is also giving you super energy. So you are just genuinely using your Revenant super, which is great all the time, and especially because of the nature of the Revenant super, where it just kind of makes that ice tornado and does its own thing. So it's in the background, it's slowing targets, it's freezing targets, it's killing targets, while you're still doing all that yourself with the Scepter to make even more shards, to make your way towards the next super even faster. Like, it really, really works out because it's a hands-off super with this build. So yeah, I really enjoy using this build, but here's the crazy part. This build's already pretty darn effective. It's going to get a massive boost later in the season, and that's thanks to an elemental well mod that we don't quite have access to yet, and that is elemental shards. So what it says is this: stasis shards count as elemental wells for you. Does not apply to the Crucible, Trials, or Iron Banner. Holy crap. So all of those shards that are constantly spawning, that are tracking to us automatically, they will count as picking up a well. So now they're going to give you overshield, right? They're going to give you melee, and they're going to give you seemingly an additional boost to all of your uncharged abilities. So that means if this mod comes out and we add this to the build, we can use a bunch more elemental well synergies, because if the shards count as wells, we can put on Font of Might, so we're constantly boosting the damage of weapons that match our subclass energy. So we're boosting the damage of the Scepter. Like, what? That's gonna be absolutely nuts when this new mod comes out. So I wanted to bring you guys this build right now so you can set it up, and as soon as that mod comes out, whew, the sky is the limit for this loadout. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.